Hey everyone, it's Anna and Tucker, and we hope you're having a good day. Tucker's having a good day. He's enjoying a little ear rub right here, head rub. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That feels amazing, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. There you go. He's living the good life, guys. Today, I have another kind of big book haul for you. I know in my last book haul I said I was definitely not going to do another book haul for a while because that one was massive. It was almost 60 books and I was good for like 2 weeks not buying any books. Tucker's bored because he's heard this story before and he agrees that I buy way too many books. But then I was doing some research for another video and had to go onto Amazon to look for some book covers, and turns out Amazon was having their 3 for 2 sale where if every 3 books you buy, you get them for the price of 2, or it's like buy 2 get 1 free kind of. So of course I was tempted a few times. And so this is the result of my temptation. I have a few YA books. I have a lot of thriller, sci-fi, mystery, kind of horror books for some reason, and a couple of special editions that I was able to pick up, and actually some very special editions of Harry Potter that I've had my eye on for a really long time. They're very expensive usually, and so I have been holding out on purchasing them for a while. But again, they were part of this 3 for 2 sale, and I decided to finally pull the trigger because I love Harry Potter and I really wanted to add to my collection. Let's start with the YA novels that I have. I only have a few. I didn't buy too many YA this time around, but the first one I have is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is an author that I've heard a lot about and I've been meaning to pick up. I think this is probably like a rom-com situation. I really identified with the boombox over the head guy right here. You know, every 80s film ever that I love, very nostalgic. So I have a feeling I'm really gonna enjoy this one. I also picked up the second book in the Red Rising series. This is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I don't typically like to buy a series in advance if I haven't even read the first one yet, so I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. But I bought Red Rising in my last book haul, I think. Maybe it was 2 book hauls back. But recently, I haven't gotten around to reading the first one, but I'm hopeful. Also, I was feeling inspired because I had just finished listening to the 5th Hunger Games book that just came out, Sunrise on the Reaping, and so I was feeling like very YA dystopian. I wanted more of that, and so I added to the list. And the last YA novel I have is a Twisted Tale retelling. This is What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. So this is a Rapunzel retelling, I believe. What if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? And Rapunzel is one of my favorite Disney princess movies. Belle is probably my most favorite movie, but Rapunzel comes in a close second. And so I know this one's been out for a couple of years, but I thought I would pick it up. It sounded really interesting. Next, I picked up The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I have been hearing so many things about the author, T.J. Klune, and this book specifically, and so I finally decided to pick this one up. I have to be honest, the premise doesn't sound incredibly exciting to me. I mean, I've read it a few times, I've read the premise a few times, and it sounds okay, but I've heard so many good reviews on this book. I thought I would give this one a chance because sometimes the synopsis isn't everything and the book itself is a lot more interesting than what you might think. If you have read this book, which it seems a lot of people have, I'd love to know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Do you agree with all the reviews, the rave reviews? Did you love it? Do you think I'll like it? Let me know what you think. The next book I have, I've had in my to buy list for a while, and so I was excited that this one was part of the sale, and I pulled the trigger on it. It's Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. And this is a new author to me, but this is a Regency romance with fantasy thrown in. So, I mean, I couldn't pass that up. I love Regency romance. The next two books that I picked up were actually ones that I decided to get after watching a video from another booktuber who was doing a St. Patrick's Day special. So these are recommendations from Spill the Reads. If you are interested in who they came from, I am taking a trip to Ireland later this summer. I have been to Ireland, but it was about 20 years ago. And so I'm really excited to be going again. And I thought I would look for some books that take place in Ireland to kind of read in the next couple of months to get me into the Irish spirit. And so when I came across the St. Paddy's Day Reads video, it really piqued my interest, and I walked away with a couple of book orders. The first one is The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. And let's see, this one takes place in Cork, Ireland. It's Christmas, 2009, and Rachel Murray is a 20-year-old who has just discovered teenage rebellion. Her quiet life as a dependable girlfriend, employee, student, and daughter has just been upended by her sudden friendship with fellow bookstore colleague James Devlin. On a whim, James asks her to move in with him. James is in the closet. Rachel doesn't mind. So this sounded like a really fun, interesting book, and one that was already recommended. The second book from that video that I picked up is Calla by Colin Walsh. This one takes place on Ireland's west coast and I think is a thriller mystery. And so also sounded very, very intriguing. So I'm really excited to get to those. I will probably read those closer to my trip, which probably puts me at reading it in maybe May or June. So the next book I have is an old one. It's Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. This has been around, this is the 50th anniversary edition, so this one's been around a while. It's also where the phrase Catch-22 comes from. 50 years after its original publication, Catch-22 remains a cornerstone of American literature and one of the funniest and most celebrated books of all time. In recent years, it's been named to best novels lists by Time, Newsweek, and the Modern Library, and the London Observer. Set in Italy during World War II, this is the story of an incomparable malingering bombarder, Yossarian, a hero who is furious because thousands of people he has never met are trying to kill him. But his real problem is not the enemy, it is his own army, which keeps increasing the number of missions the men must fly to complete their service. Yet, if Yossarian makes any attempt to excuse himself from the perilous missions he's assigned, he'll be in violation of Catch-22, a hilariously sinister bureaucratic rule. A man is considered insane if he willingly continues to fly dangerous combat missions. But if he makes a formal request to be removed from duty, he is proven sane and therefore ineligible to be relieved. So I hope you can see why this is called Catch-22 and why we now use that phrase when we are stuck in a situation where we lose either way, right? I also picked up Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Again, heard a lot of things about this book and decided to finally pull the trigger. This is a David Copperfield retelling. David Copperfield is a story written by Charles Dickens, and so this is a retelling or a spin-off or something to that effect. But it's quite a dense book. It's quite long. It scares me a little bit, to be honest. And I was a little bummed that I got this version. I didn't realize there was a Barnes & Noble special edition with like a way prettier cover. It's like rainbow colored, and then there's like the rough edges on the side. So I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe returning this one and going to get the Barnes & Noble one. That's kind of silly. I don't know. I'll probably just keep this one. I also picked up a couple of romance novels. I have The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I've been looking for a Rebecca Yarros book to pick up because, again, she seems like a really popular author, but I have not read anything by her. And quite honestly, the Fourth Wing novels don't really interest me very much, and so I was looking to see if there was something from her backlist maybe that would be more interesting to me, and so I picked this one up. The next one I have is a new one by a very popular author. It's Story of My Life by Lucy Score. And so this is a special edition, I think. It's got these sprayed edges here. They're really pretty. They go all the way around. And I just thought that this cover looked really interesting. She's got trouble written all over her is the tagline right here. And so that's kind of all I need. What's more inspiring to a rom-com author than a hot, grumpy contractor literally knocking down walls? There was a period of time in my life when I watched a substantial number of Hallmark movies. And so this premise reminded me of a classic Hallmark movie that I would curl up on the couch and watch. And so I'm happy to get into this one because this sounds right up my alley. Okay, the next pile of books I have is the bulk of my haul today, and they're thrillers, mysteries, sci-fis, horror-ish type stuff, I guess. I don't know. I threw them all in together because I couldn't really separate them out too much. The first one I have is one that just came out by Frida McFadden. It is Ward D. Now, I know this one was just published, but I looked on the title page and it seems like this one was independently published a couple of years ago, but this is the first mass printing, I think. And so, spoiler alert, this one actually got chosen by Tucker as part of my April TBR in a previous video, and I've already read it. I read it in like 2 days, 2.5 days. I couldn't really put it down. I'll have more of a review in my wrap-up that I do at the end of the month, but just so you know, I already know that I really liked this one and have already finished it. The next one I have is by Riley Sager, and it is The Only One Left. I also have not read anything by Riley Sager, but very popular author, and so I also heard good things about this book specifically, and so I am apparently in my thriller era right now, so I'm excited to get into this one. The next book I have is the first book in an ongoing series by Deanna Raybourn called A Curious Beginning. And this is a Veronica Speedwell mystery. So this takes place in London, 1877. After burying her spinster aunt, orphaned Veronica Speedwell is free to resume her world travels in pursuit of scientific inquiry and the occasional romantic dalliance. As familiar with hunting butterflies as with fending off admirers, Veronica intends to embark upon the journey of a lifetime. But fate has other plans, and Veronica thwarts her own attempted abduction with the help of an enigmatic German baron who offers her sanctuary in the care of his friend Stoker, a reclusive and bad-tempered natural historian. But before the baron can reveal what he knows of the plot against her, he is found murdered, leaving Veronica and Stoker on the run from an elusive assailant as weary partners in search of the villainous truth. This takes place in a time frame that I love. It sounds like a cozy mystery with a little bit of romance, and I have read Deanna Raybourn a long time ago, and I can't remember what book it was, but I did enjoy the book that I read, so I'm hopeful that I'm going to enjoy this one too. The next book I picked up is Wayward by Amelia Hart. And I know Amelia Hart just came out with a new book, The Sirens, and I thought about picking that one up, but it didn't really excite me in the same way that the description for Wayward did, so I decided to pick Wayward up instead of The Sirens. The next book I picked up, I also got off of watching several booktube videos, and that is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. So this is the Murderbot series, and it just sounds really entertaining to me. In a corporate-dominated spacefaring future, planetary missions must be approved and supplied by the company. Exploratory teams are accompanied by company-supplied security robots for their own safety. But in a society where contracts are awarded to the lowest bidder, safety isn't a primary concern. On a distant planet, a team of scientists are conducting surface tests, shadowed by their company-supplied bot, a self-aware SEC unit that has hacked its own governor module and refers to itself, though never out loud, as Murderbot. Scornful of humans, all it really wants to be is left alone long enough to figure out who it is. But when a neighboring mission goes dark, it's up to the scientists and their Murderbot to get the truth. So a self-aware bot who has decided that they don't want to do what they're tasked sounds really comical to me. It sounds like this could be really good. Next one I picked up is Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. And so this follows a crow. A foul-mouthed crow and a faithful bloodhound must band together to save humanity in this big-hearted, boundlessly beautiful romp through the apocalypse and the world that comes after. And so, you know, a bird and a dog team up in an apocalypse. It sounds really, really great. Also picked this one up from a booktube recommendation. And one of my new favorite authors is Grady Hendrix, so of course I had to get his latest book, The Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I don't really know too much about this. I haven't read the synopsis in a while, but I just finished My Best Friend's Exorcism. I think I read that last year, and I just finished listening a Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires a couple of months ago, and so I'm a bit on a Grady Hendrix kick at the moment. Okay, I have just a few middle grade novels that I picked up for the kids in the house. The first one is Space Case by Stuart Gibbs. Stuart Gibbs is a fantastic author of many different middle grade novels. This is part of a trilogy. It's the first one where a murder takes place on a moon base and they have to figure it out. So this is a fun one. This is actually my 12-year-old son's favorite series, if anybody's looking for a good series for a boy. I had no idea that Suzanne Collins wrote middle grade novels, but I guess she does. So I picked up Gregor the Overlander. It follows Gregor and his little sister through a grate in a laundry room of their apartment building, and they're hurtled into the dark underland beneath the city. There, humans live uneasily beside giant spiders, bats, cockroaches, and rats. But the fragile peace is about to fall apart. Gregor wants no part of a conflict between these creepy creatures, but when he discovers that a strange prophecy foretells a role for him in the Underland, he realizes it might be the only way to solve the biggest mystery of his life. And the last middle grade novel I picked up is part of the Minecraft series. I think it's the first one, Minecraft the Island by Max Brooks. And I have a few middle grade books that I ordered from Book Outlet, just kind of on a whim. Again, these books are meant for my boys. The first one I have is part of a series. It is Ranger's Apprentice, The Ruins of Gorlan by John Flanagan. I think this is a pretty popular series that has been around for a little while. It's got warriors in it called the Rangers, with their shadowy ways have always made 15-year-old Will nervous. Now he's been chosen as a Ranger's apprentice. What he doesn't yet realize is that the Rangers are the protectors of the kingdom who will fight the battles before the battles reach the people. And then I got a series of books by the same author. I think this is a standalone, but this is Finding Orion by John David Anderson. I've heard a lot of good things about this book over the years. I've actually had my eye on it for my kids for a while. I just haven't been able to find it until recently on Book Outlet. But this is a standalone. When Ryan and his family learn of the death of Papa Quirk, his frequently absent, always odd grandfather, they pile into the car to attend his funeral and pay their respects. But Ryan can't help but feel that that's not the end of his story, that there's more to Papa Quirk's mysterious life to discover, and he doesn't know just how right he is. And then I picked up two more books by John David Anderson. This is a duology, I think. The first one is called Oh, nope, I had this reversed. The first one is called Stowaway. This is a sci-fi adventure that takes place out in space. When scientists discover a mysterious mineral buried in Earth's crust, they have no idea that it's the most valuable substance in the universe. It's not long before aliens show up to our little corner of the galaxy, offering us fabulous new technology and entry into their intergalactic coalition in exchange for this precious mineral. Something so precious that other aliens are willing to start a war over it. A war that soon makes its way to Earth. So Stowaway is the first one, and Homebound is the sequel to Stowaway, and I think there are only two. Like I said, I think this is only a duology here. I have a graphic novel here called The First Cat in Space Ate Pizza by Mac Barnett and Sean Harris. And this book just looked really fun. I know graphic novels are really, in these days, using graphic novels is a great way to encourage kids to read, especially reluctant readers. And I don't really remember what the plot of this is, but it just looked fun, sounded fun. I recognized the author, Mac Barnett. I think he's written some other things, and so I thought this would be a good one. And I have Skellig by David Almond. And I can't remember, I might have actually picked this one up for myself to read because like I said, I read middle grade every once in a while. But this is a 20th anniversary illustrated edition. So this is actually a special edition copy, and it's about a boy who is moving into a new house and discovers a strange creature that he doesn't know what it is. That's really all I know about this book. So these end papers are really pretty, and then again, it sounds like the original didn't have any illustrations, but this one does. And so here are a couple of the illustrations. But it seemed really interesting. It seemed like a fun, quick read. This is really pretty, it's a bird. And sometimes, I just like to use these as like palette cleansers, or if I just need something easy that, doesn't take a lot of brain power to sit there and try and figure out. Middle grade is always great for kind of one of those types of situations. And the last three books that I have for you are the special edition Harry Potter books that I picked up. These books have been released for a little while, but they have only released the first three in this series. The next one, Goblet of Fire, is going to be released this year in October, I believe, and I've seen the cover in advance. It's really pretty. If I can find a picture, I'll put one up here. These are the illustrated editions by Mina Lima, and so this is the first one. It is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So what's cool about these books is that they're not only illustrated with these beautiful illustrations here, they're also interactive. And so while I think the interaction would be kind of difficult to do while you're reading, they're great for collector's items. So you can turn the wheel. Let's see, what else is there? So this is the first one. So here's Diagon Alley. Let's see if I can do this. So you can open it up. And so there's all these fun little things throughout these books. So that was the Sorcerer's Stone. I also have the Chamber of Secrets. And so each one of these, I think, they take a couple of years to craft. See, here's the Flu Network. Let's see. I demonstrate it for you, but it's really difficult to do with just two hands. But here's some other illustrations. Here's the Chamber of Secrets, and so you open it, The snake comes out. And the last one that's currently out is The Prisoner of Azkaban. And this is a really beautiful cover, I think. I don't know. I like blues and purples, so I'm kind of drawn to those. Let's see here. Let me find. So like, here's the night bus. Here is the, gosh, I forget what it's called. Where the boggart comes out, you know. They've got the Marauders map right here. So let's see if I can do this. Oops. Like that. So again, I got these just as collector pieces, and so I don't really intend to read them, but I intend to purchase each one as they come out, and so by the time they come out with the 7th one, I'll have the complete collection to add to my already decent sized Harry Potter collection of books. That's it. That's my haul. It's smaller than last time, but still a substantial number of books. So I mean it this time. I'm really not going to do a haul again anytime soon, unless there's a sale, and then I might go back on my word, because I can't. I have a problem. I have a problem. Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay. You know, books make me happy. They make you happy. Do they make you happy? They make me happy. Thanks so much for joining me today. I would have Tucker come back up here, but he is passed out on the floor beside me, and he gets grumpy when I wake him up from naps. So he'll be joining me next time, but thank you very much. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. I hope you guys take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.